Hello, and welcome to Combo Breakdown! We're cracking into the new year with a new card that utilizes so many combo cards from older combo breakdowns that it makes you think we really only need a few cards to break Magic. So, throughout this video I will have links popping up to older videos that can explain some of these cards more in depth. Today's card, new from Theros Beyond Death, is the big bad white god, Heliod, Sun, Crowned. But before we dive into this combo king, remember to like, sub, comment, and ring YouTube's bell. Okay, this new Heliod is a 5/5 indestructible god for 2 and a white, and if your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. And you can also pay 1 and a white to give another target creature lifelink until end of turn. So right away I'm going to bring up the combo with Spike Feeder, a green creature that allows you to remove a +1/+1 counter from it to gain 2 life. You can see more in-depth combos with Spike Feeder in this video here. Anyways, the combo is straightforward. You remove a +1/+1 counter off your Spike Feeder to gain 2 life. Because you gain life, you can put a +1/+1 counter on the Spike Feeder with Heliod. This allows you to do this continually to gain endless life. What will you do with said life? Well, you could play Aetherflux Reservoir to blast away your opponents, or you could run Simic Ascendancy. Every +1/+1 counter you put on Spike Feeder puts a growth counter on the Ascendancy, and after 20 of those you win the game on your next upkeep. However, note that this combo is really easy to disrupt, because an opponent can just kill your Spike Feeder in response to you putting a counter on it. And since Spike Feeder doesn't become bigger in this combo, you can't remove another counter in response to the removal to keep the combo going, because Spike Feeder will die with 0 toughness. It only starts with 2 counters on it. So if you want to play it safe, don't combo off until you have more counters on your Spike Feeder. Now for a more spiky combo. Heliod combos with Walking Ballista and Triskelion similarly to how those cards combo with Mikaeus the Unhallowed, like we discussed in this video here. Both Ballista and Triskelion have the ability to remove a +1/+1 counter from them to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. First you give your Ballista lifelink with Heliod's ability, and then you remove a counter from it dealing 1 damage to your opponent. You gain a life because the Ballista has lifelink, and since you gain life you can put a counter on a creature, like your Ballista. Repeat the process to ping your opponents to death. Although, similar to Spike Feeder, this can be disrupted by removal, but if you have more than 2 counters on your Ballista, you can respond to the removal by restarting the combo. Next up, let's talk about a weird combo that involves Benthic Biome Answer and either Niv-Mizzet Perun or Niv-Mizzet the Firemind, both of which were the subject of my first combo breakdown video here. So both Niv-Mizzets allow you to deal 1 damage to target creature or player whenever you draw a card. Benthic Biome Answer lets you draw 1 card and then discard a card whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on it. So, you have Heliod, Niv-Mizzet, and Biome Answer out. You give Niv-Mizzet lifelink with Heliod, and then the next time you draw a card this turn, either by tapping the Firemind if that's the Niv-Mizzet you have, or adapting the Biome Answer or whatever, Niv-Mizzet can deal 1 damage to your opponent, and because he has lifelink, you gain 1 life. Then, because you gained a life, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature with Heliod. So throw that counter on your Biome Answer, and because it got a counter, you can draw a card and discard a card. And then since you just drew a card, Niv-Mizzet can ping again, restarting the loop. This allows you to deal damage equal to the number of cards in your deck, gain a lot of life, draw or search your whole deck for a win con, and then get a massive Biome Answer. The nice part about this combo is once you have the cards in your hand you want to keep, you can end it whenever you want, you just don't put a counter on the Biome Answer. Okay, last combo involves our good friend, Persist. If a creature with Persist would die and it didn't have a -1/-1 counter on it, it returns to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter. Now the trick with -1/-1 counters is that if a creature has both a -1/-1 counter and a +1/+1 counter on it, both of those counters are removed. So, if we have Heliod and a Persist creature that gains us life upon entering, like, I don't know, these Kitchen Finks here, then technically we can keep it alive forever. When Kitchen Finks dies, since it has Persist, it returns with a -1/-1 counter. but when it enters the battlefield we gain 2 life, and since we gain life we can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature with Heliod. We put that counter on Kitchen Finks and both the -1/-1 and +1/+1 counters are removed. Now if the Finks dies, it's returned to the battlefield again with Persist. Pair this with a sack outlet of your choice, like to make endless mana with Ashnod's Altar, or to mill out an opponent with Altar Dementia, or draw cards with Greater Good, etc, etc. You get to do all that along with the 1,000,000 life you'll gain in the process of Kitchen Finks just re-entering the battlefield. You can get jankier with this by using Murderous Redcap instead of Kitchen Finks. When the Murderous Redcap comes in, it deals damage equal to its power to target opponent. So the Redcap dies and comes back with Persist. When its damage triggers on the stack, you can respond with Heliod's ability to give the Redcap lifelink. When all that resolves, the Redcap deals its damage, you gain that much life, and you put a counter on the Redcap to remove the -1/-1 counter, allowing you to repeat the process. The downside is that you need to use a lot of mana to do this, because every time the Redcap returns to the battlefield, you would have to give it lifelink again. This can be fixed by having another card, like a Johnny's Welcome, to gain you a life when the Redcap comes in, allowing you to put the counter on the Redcap when it enters the battlefield, removing the -1/-1 counter and allowing you to sack the Redcap to continue the loop. Or by having Exquisite Blood, that says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. We actually talk about another combo with Exquisite Blood here. Anyways, so the Redcap comes in, deals its damage to an opponent. Since they lost life, you gain that much life, allowing you to put a counter on the Redcap with Heliod. You can then sack the Redcap to repeat the process. And there you have it. How to combo with a new Heliod in Mono White, or Selesnya, or Bant, or Jeskai, or Mardu. And I'm sure there are 1,000 other combos you can do with him, but these are just a few. So are you going to use this new Heliod as a commander, or even a combo deck in another format? Let me know down below, and when you need your next combo, you can find me right back here on the internet.